Well, good morning. It's going to be a lovely morning here, but I'll bet it's going to be hot by this afternoon. So I thought I'd spend a little bit of time outside, maybe get my walk in before it starts to get hot today. It's always nice to get out and stroll around the property early in the morning, get to hear some birds, and just watch the world come awake. And if you're lucky, you get to see some of the local wildlife. So far today, that's just been crows. Usually there's at least turkeys. Going for a morning walk like this is a great opportunity to just contemplate things that are on your mind. Lately I've been thinking about YouTube and whether or not you can trust the average creator on YouTube when they're doing product reviews, sponsored videos, things like that. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves, we have to accept that YouTube, like every other social media platform, is a business, and they're in business to make money. And that's why you see ads on YouTube. Okay, it's only a little after 8 in the morning, but it's already starting to get hot and I'm breaking out in a sweat. So I think I'll go inside for a little bit. So besides those annoying ads that are placed in cooperation with YouTube, Google AdSense, and the individual video creator, there are other things that video creators do, hopefully to try and earn a little bit of money. YouTube takes time, it takes effort, you invest in equipment. I've got a light over here, I've got a camera on a tripod, I've got a computer for editing. All of that stuff was specifically purchased just to make YouTube videos. Most of the cameras I own I never would have bought if I wasn't doing YouTube, and I would not have bought a high-end computer with multiple monitors if I wasn't editing YouTube videos, and I certainly wouldn't have bought video lights if I wasn't doing YouTube videos. Or I should say, if I wasn't trying to make YouTube videos a part of my business. And these videos over here on the vlog channel really aren't heavily business motivated, they aren't heavily profit motivated. This channel probably doesn't make $100 a month on average. And while I've done a few product reviews, I've never actually had a paid sponsorship on this channel. So this one is really more just for the fun of it. But the main channel does keep me from making product for sale, it keeps me from doing customer commissions. So it has to make up to that to a certain extent. And for that reason, I do paid sponsorships over there, product reviews, and encourage people to help support the channel through places like Patreon. So that brings up the question of whether or not you can really trust the opinions being expressed in a YouTube video as far as these sponsorships and product reviews, things like that go. And as somebody who's primarily viewing videos and not actually making videos or not making very many videos, so they're not being approached by sponsors or people that have products to review, it's easy to view YouTubers as just sellouts or shills. But most things on YouTube are pretty open and honest about whether or not they're sponsored, who provided the product. And yes, there is a big difference between, I got this product free from the manufacturer to take a look at, and they aren't paying me for this video. No, nobody sent me this. This video is not sponsored. There's no free product. This is just something I pulled off the shelf. But there's a difference between that and this video sponsored by whoever made this. I don't even see a logo on it. The big difference is sponsored videos have contracts, they have deliverables. You must use these little catchphrases or advertising slogans when you're talking about it. And frequently the sponsor gets to review the video before it goes live. So a lot of times you got to have the video done a couple of weeks ahead of time, send it to the sponsor, they send it back, say, oh, you need to mention this, you need to make sure you point out the price, make sure you include the link to the website, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more work in a sponsored video that somebody might be paying for. But when you get a free product, there's usually none of that. You get to say whatever you want about the product. There are no deliverables. They don't get to review the video. It's just whatever your thoughts on the product are. So they have a lot less input into what you're saying than they would if it was a paid sponsorship. And people say, oh yeah, but the free product is as good as money. It has value. Well, the honest truth is most of this stuff has no value to the creator. If it's something you're going to use day in and day out, that's wonderful, But if it's something you're going to look at, you're going to review it, then you're going to put it on the shelf, and you may never use it again, it doesn't have value. Now, if I'm cruising the internet and I'm shopping for the latest, greatest camera by Canon, for instance, and I'm just about to write that check and they send me one for free, yeah, that suddenly has value, because that would have just saved me something like $5,000 for this camera and lens combination. That doesn't happen very often, though. Usually what you get is something you weren't really going to buy, so it's not saving you any money because you weren't going to go out and pay for it anyways. It's just something now you got to store, you got to deal with. And sometimes they're great products and you're going to use them. I've got some stuff in the shop people have sent that I use all the time. But had they not sent the product for free, I never would have gone out and bought the product because I didn't even know it existed. So those product reviews really are considerably different than a sponsored video on that front. But even the sponsored videos, I think, are probably more honest than a lot of people give them credit for. Yes, when I do a sponsorship for someplace like Skillshare, I'm required to talk about some of their classes. I'm required to use certain phrases and certain keywords and things like that, make sure the link is in there, and there's a spoken call to action, the first 1,000 people to use the link, that kind of stuff. But like most YouTubers, I wouldn't take these sponsorships if I didn't believe in their product. Most of the sponsorships I do, I've used the businesses before they ever contact me to do a sponsorship, and the few that I haven't, it's something that I was interested in and something that I wanted to use. I already had some reason for trusting their quality. And what a lot of viewers don't realize is that I get 200-300 offers for sponsorships or products to review a year. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 in a day, and you never see those, not on this channel, not on the main Black Bear Forge channel, because they aren't companies I believe in. They're not somebody that I'm willing to represent. I'm not going to go out, put my reputation on the line for some company I've never heard of or for a product that doesn't interest my viewers. Then I'm not taking the paid sponsorship and trying to pretend that that's something that I just absolutely love. I wouldn't do that, and I think most YouTubers wouldn't, especially the bigger YouTubers. They have a reputation, and if their reputation is for promoting junk, then their channel is going to die and they're not going to get good sponsors. So there's a real interest in only doing legitimate sponsorships for good companies and not making stuff up. I've had products sent to me that I didn't do reviews on because I just simply didn't like the product. It wasn't a good product. And you send that back to the manufacturer, just tell them, I can't do a review on this. This is what I'm going to say about it. Is that what you want me to do? And generally, that's not what they want. They want good, positive reviews, but they take your input and hopefully get that back to the people that are making the product. And maybe they adapt, maybe they don't. I don't know. But for me, if you're seeing sponsored videos, product reviews, it's things that I trust the company, I trust the product, I've taken enough of a look at it to know that it's something that would be useful for what it's intended for, even if it's not something that I was ready to go out and purchase myself. But having said that, you really do need to take all this with a grain of salt. Just because somebody sends you a fantastic gimbal, and again, I paid full price, nobody sent me this, not a sponsored video. But anyways, if somebody sent this, and even if it's a great product, and I'm going to tell you it's a great product because I really like it, and if it's something I need, I'm going to use it. But maybe it isn't really something I need, and more importantly, maybe it's not something you need. So just because somebody reviews it, just because they're being honest that they think it's really good and they really like it, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to use it all the time. You see that a lot on YouTube. Somebody will review the latest, greatest camera, and it's a good camera. It does everything it's supposed to do. It has some wonderful features, but that particular YouTuber's already invested in another camera system. Like, I have a bunch of Canon cameras. If Nikon sent me a camera, I might really like the camera. It might even be better than some of the cameras I'm using. But because I'm not invested in their ecosystem for lenses and accessories, I'm probably not going to incorporate it into my daily use. And that's something you need to consider. Just because there's 50 YouTubers out there talking about how great the latest Insta360 1RS 360 Leica 1-inch sensor, I don't even remember what it was, just came out the other day. Looks like it's probably a great camera. Do I need another 360 camera? No, I don't use the one I have enough, so I don't need to go buy one. But that doesn't mean they're lying to me. Yes, they're trying to get sales. That's what the manufacturers want. And you just have to look at it through that lens. It just means that they got a free product in the mail and they're presenting it to you. And maybe there's some affiliate links in the description. And if you use those affiliate links, they get a little bit of beer money out of the deal. And if enough people use those links, it starts to become significant. Heck, I've got links down in my video description for this camera and lens combination. I think maybe 3 or 4 people have used those links since I've put them in there, so it doesn't really make that much money. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a rambling video. We'll look forward to seeing you for the next one.